night was torn apart by alarms as Ryan said, "They betrayed me." His hands trembled over the keyboard, each keystroke a desperate attempt to hold on to the last fragment of his freedom. Explosions echoed in the distance, rattling the windows of the safe house. Sweat dripped down his forehead as the government trackers closed in. Ryan whispered, this was supposed to be different. Memories of loyalty and service twisted into knives of betrayal. Shadows of soldiers moved outside, their boots heavy with intent. Ryan's screen flickered with corrupted files and digital screams. He muttered, "They want me gone, erased, forgotten." A sudden blast shook the walls, forcing him to the floor. He gasped for breath, chest pounding with rage and despair. His mind replayed the moment he learned the truth. His government had marked him expendable. He rose slowly, clutching a worn flash drive, his last weapon. Ryan said, "If exile is the only path, then I will survive it. But they will pay." Outside, the storm thundered like the rage building inside him. "Nancy, here are." His heart broke, yet a flame of vengeance burned brighter than fear. Ryan stumbled into the rain, the night swallowing him whole. The city streets were empty except for distant sirens. His breath came in ragged bursts, every step haunted by betrayal. He muttered, "I will not die here." Shadows twisted around him as if the world itself wanted to erase his existence. His soaked jacket clung to him, the flash drive hidden close to his chest. Thunder rumbled like laughter of unseen enemies. Ryan recalled the voices of those who once called him brother, now hunting him like prey. "They turned me into a ghost," he whispered. His footsteps echoed along broken pavements. A drone buzzed overhead, scanning the darkness. Ryan ducked into an alley, pressing against wet brick, heart pounding. He felt like a man buried alive, but still clawing at the dirt. The rain washed away blood from a cut on his cheek. He whispered, "This is survival now." His eyes burned with rage, but his soul ached with loneliness. The alley swallowed him, narrow walls closing like jaws. Ryan pressed against the bricks, his heartbeat louder than the rain. He whispered, "One mistake, and I am finished." Above, drones hovered with sharp beams of light cutting through the night. He pulled his hood over his head, face shadowed, body trembling. His mind replayed voices of comrades turned enemies. He thought of freedom like it was a lost dream, slipping further away with every breath. A flicker of movement across rooftops made him freeze. Soldiers prowled, black silhouettes against storm-lit sky. He clenched his jaw, muttering, "I won't be their victim." A gust of wind carried smoke from nearby fires, stinging his eyes. The walls were wet, rough beneath his palms, grounding him in this nightmare. His pulse hammered, every nerve alive with dread. The storm deepened as Ryan darted between shadows. His breath came sharp, each inhale slicing his lungs. He whispered, "I was their weapon, now I am their target." His mind burned with betrayal, yet survival demanded silence. He moved quickly, footsteps muted by rain. A spotlight flared behind him, forcing him to dive into broken crates. Wood splintered against his ribs, but he stayed still, hidden. Soldiers' voices echoed faintly, their words venom carried by storm. Ryan closed his eyes, hearing echoes of his old loyalty tearing at him like glass. "They trained me to fight, but never expected me to fight them," he murmured. His hands gripped the flash drive tighter, the last proof of his existence. Ryan crawled out of the crates once the soldiers passed, chest aching from bruises. The city loomed ahead like a graveyard of neon. He whispered, "I am not done yet." His eyes narrowed with determination, every step a vow. His thoughts spiraled to the betrayal, faces once trusted now branded in rage. He pushed forward, teeth clenched. A gust of cold rain hit him, numbing his skin. He whispered, "They will remember me." A drone scanned overhead, but he slipped beneath a broken awning. Sparks rained from a shattered sign, painting his figure in broken light. He pressed his back to the wall, breathing hard. Lightning flashed, illuminating his defiance against a storm-filled sky. Ryan trudged through the abandoned industrial district, the storm soaking his worn jacket. His boots splashed in puddles as neon signs flickered weakly. He whispered, "Exile is a death sentence." His face hardened as memories of betrayal gnawed at him. The flash drive pressed against his chest like a burning coal. He muttered, "This is my only weapon now." Rusted machines towered around him like forgotten giants. Sparks crackled from broken wires, illuminating his gaunt face. Hunger twisted in his gut, but his mind burned hotter than his body. "They wanted me erased," Ryan said. "But I will survive their silence." The rain blurred his vision, yet he pushed forward. Shadows danced, every corner whispering of enemies unseen. His breath was ragged, but his eyes glowed with defiance. The district grew darker as Ryan stepped into a crumbling factory. Broken windows whistled with wind. He whispered, "This place is my grave or my refuge." His boots echoed against rusted steel beams. Dust fell from the ceiling with every rumble of thunder. He scanned the shadows for movement, heart pounding. A flicker of light from his wrist device cast faint glow across his face. "Every corner could be a trap," he muttered. His hands trembled from exhaustion, but he gritted his teeth. The flash drive pressed into his palm, as though reminding him of purpose. Lightning illuminated graffiti-stained walls like scars of rebellion. Ryan whispered, "Survival is no longer a choice." His steps carried him deeper into the darkness. Ryan collapsed near a pile of crates, his breath heavy and shallow. He whispered, "I can't keep running forever." His face pressed against cold concrete, rain dripping through holes in the roof. He closed his eyes, recalling warm laughter of comrades who betrayed him. His body shook with fury and hunger. "You took everything," he murmured. A rat scurried across debris, startling him awake. He sat up, pulling his knees close, eyes burning with exhaustion. The flash drive hung in his grip like a sacred relic. His voice cracked, "I will fight back, no matter the cost." Shadows shifted in the distance, as if watching him. His heart pounded, unsure if it was paranoia or pursuit. The night deepened as Ryan found a flickering lantern on a rusted table. He lit it, shadows stretching across the walls like phantoms. His voice was hoarse, light. "At least I have this." His face glowed in trembling orange hues. He studied the flash drive, its surface scratched and battered. He muttered, "You are my only truth." His reflection in broken glass looked foreign, half man, half ghost. He clenched his fists, rage consuming him. "They will not bury me," Ryan whispered. Outside, thunder rolled like drums of war. He felt both fear and fire, the paradox of exile. His chest rose and fell sharply as he prepared for the next move. Ryan stood at the edge of the factory roof, rain pouring over him like judgment. He looked down at the ruined city, neon veins glowing faintly through the storm. His jaw tightened. This exile is not my end. His fists clenched as lightning split the sky. He remembered the faces of traitors, voices that condemned him. He whispered, "You all wanted me erased, but I will return." His soaked hair clung to his forehead, his breath steaming in cold air. His eyes burned with vengeance. The storm raged, but inside him a fiercer storm brewed. He turned away from the ledge, walking into shadows, ready to survive by any means. Ryan wandered into the ruins of a subway station, the air thick with smoke and rot. His breath echoed in the hollow tunnels. He whispered, "Even the shadows feel hostile." A clang echoed, making him tense. His hand clutched the flash drive tightly. "If this is the end, I'll face it standing," he muttered. From the darkness, a figure emerged slowly, hands raised. A woman's voice cut through the silence, sharp but steady. "Sarah said you're bleeding, and if you stay loud, they'll find you." Ryan's chest tightened as suspicion flared. His voice cracked, "Why should I trust you?" She stepped closer, revealing eyes hardened by scars of survival. Because I know what betrayal feels like, Sarah said firmly. Ryan's body stiffened, suspicion cutting deeper than the wound on his arm. Sarah's gaze never faltered. She whispered, I've been hunted too. I know their methods. Ryan stepped back, breathing heavily. He muttered, Every ally becomes a knife in my back. Sarah shook her head, voice sharp. I'm not their spy, I'm their mistake. The storm above rumbled through cracks in the ceiling, water dripping onto the filthy floor. Ryan's eyes burned with distrust, but exhaustion anchored him. He groaned, If you betray me, I'll make you regret it. Sarah's lips curved into a bitter smile. She replied, You won't have to. I'm already regretting everything. Ryan leaned against a broken pillar, his chest heaving. Sarah stepped closer, producing a small med kit from her bag. She said, Let me patch that up. You'll bleed out before revenge finds you. Ryan snarled, Why would you care? Sarah's hands moved steadily, her voice low. Because I've seen what they do to people they discard. His jaw clenched, eyes fixed on hers with doubt. She tightened the bandage, and he hissed in pain. If this is a trick, he muttered. Sarah cut him off. Then you're already dead, and so am I. For the first time, Ryan's eyes softened, a flicker of reluctant trust forming. The silence between them stretched as the storm thundered above. Ryan whispered, They exiled me, erased me, left me to rot. His eyes burned with rage. Sarah's gaze sharpened, her voice bitter. Then you and I are already the same. She leaned against the wall, eyes distant. They betrayed me years ago, she said. I've been hiding in their blind spots ever since. Ryan frowned, suspicion returning. Why reveal yourself now? Sarah's voice cracked with quiet resolve. Because survival is impossible alone, and vengeance demands allies. Ryan's breath steadied, heart torn between mistrust and recognition. Ryan studied Sarah, the weight of her words pressing against his chest. He whispered, If you stay, you carry my curse. Sarah's lips curled faintly. Curses are better than loneliness. Thunder roared above as silence wrapped them. Ryan muttered, Then exile is no longer mine alone. Sarah nodded, voice steady. We fight back, or we die forgotten. For the first time since betrayal, Ryan's eyes flickered with something close to hope. His voice steadied. Then let's make them remember us. The shadows of the subway seemed less suffocating, as if the storm outside bent to their pack. The subway led them into an underground chamber lined with rusted doors. Ryan muttered, This path feels older than the city itself. Sarah scanned the walls, her voice calm but wary. Someone used this place before us. A faint light glowed ahead, warm against the cold concrete. Ryan gripped the flash drive tighter, whispering, Every secret leads to another shadow. As they entered, an older man stepped from the glow, his voice steady. David said, I knew you would find me, Ryan. Shock froze Ryan in place. You know my name, he whispered, anger and suspicion colliding. Sarah raised her knife defensively. David, calm and tired, replied, I have answers you've been dying for, and demons I've carried too long. Ryan's voice shook with rage as he stepped forward. You knew me, yet left me to rot. David's eyes lowered, heavy with regret. I tried to shield you from their betrayal, but I failed. Sarah's eyes darted between them, distrust etched deep. Ryan hissed, You were one of them. David's voice trembled slightly. I was their weapon before you. I broke free, but at a price. The lantern flickered, casting their shadows long across the walls. Ryan clenched his fists, fury clashing with desperate curiosity. Sarah whispered, If this is true, he may be the only one who knows their weakness. David met Ryan's glare. You want vengeance? You'll need more than anger. You'll need truth. Ryan's voice cracked with bitterness. Truth doesn't heal betrayal. David sighed deeply, leaning against the wall. No, but it arms you. Sarah stepped closer to Ryan, her voice steady. If he has knowledge, we need it. Ryan's jaw tightened. Or it's another trap. David pulled a small drive from his coat, its surface scarred. This holds the evidence they buried, same as yours. Ryan froze, heart pounding. You had the same mission, he whispered. David nodded solemnly. And I lost everything for it. Silence thickened the chamber, broken only by dripping water. Sarah's eyes softened as she said, "Then maybe we aren't fighting alone anymore." David's voice grew heavier, his eyes lost in memory. They build soldiers from loyalty, then break them when they outlive usefulness. Ryan whispered, "So I was never more than a tool." Sarah placed a hand on his arm, her touch grounding. David said, "I tried to stop it once, but their machine devours everyone." Ryan spat, "Then why should I trust you?" David's tone hardened. "Because I've already betrayed them, and they want me erased as much as they want you." The storm outside boomed faintly, echoing through cracks in stone. Ryan's chest rose and fell sharply as he whispered, "Then teach me, before the fire swallows me whole." David stepped closer, his voice low and deliberate. "Their secrets are written in blood. If you chase vengeance blindly, you'll drown in it." Ryan's eyes locked onto his, fury mixing with hunger for truth. "Then show me the path," Ryan demanded. Sarah's eyes softened, her voice a whisper. "We can't carry this alone." David's expression tightened, guilt etched into every line. "I can give you knowledge, but it comes with a cost. My past is tied to your present more than you know." Ryan's breath hitched, suspicion flaring again. "What are you hiding?" David's silence stretched, heavy as stone. "Finally," he whispered, "the one who betrayed you was once my ally." The storm eased into a drizzle as Ryan and Sarah entered the ruins of an old library. Dust clung to torn pages, the smell of decay heavy. Ryan whispered, "Knowledge dies when truth is silenced." A soft voice startled him. Emily said, "Not all knowledge is gone." She stepped from the shadows, her eyes cautious but kind. Ryan froze, hand hovering near his knife. Sarah raised her brows, muttering, "Another stranger in the dark." Emily's lips trembled. "I'm no stranger. I've been hiding, waiting for someone who still fights them." Ryan's chest tightened, suspicion battling something softer. He muttered, "Then prove you're not a trap." Emily's gaze steadied. "I've lost as much as you have. I only want to survive." Emily approached slowly, placing a bundle of supplies on a cracked table. "Food, medicine, batteries," she said softly. Ryan's brows furrowed. "Why would you give this to us?" Emily's voice wavered. "Because I can't fight alone." Sarah crossed her arms, muttering, "Trust is a currency we can't spend easily." Ryan's chest ached with doubt, yet hunger twisted in his gut. Emily's eyes softened as she whispered, "I saw what they did to you, Ryan. I was one of the ghosts in their files." His blood froze. "They erased you too," he muttered. Emily nodded slowly. "We carry the same wound." For the first time, Ryan's guard cracked, the shadows in his heart flickering with fragile warmth. The fragile calm shattered as heavy boots echoed from the doorway. Ryan spun, knife raised. A man emerged, tall and smirking. Lucas said, "Still playing hero, Ryan? Some things never change." Ryan's eyes widened, fury igniting. "You, whoa." Sarah stepped closer, ready to strike. Emily froze, whispering, "You know him?" Ryan's voice cracked with rage. "He was my shadow, the brother who chose betrayal." Lucas laughed coldly. "I chose survival, not illusions of loyalty." Ryan's knuckles turned white around the knife. Sarah muttered, "This stinks of blood." Lucas stepped into the dim light, arrogance dripping from his smirk. "You fight the system, Ryan. I profit from it. That's why I'll always win." Ryan lunged forward, but Sarah pulled him back. "Not now," she hissed. Lucas's smirk widened. "You're still weak, Ryan. Rage doesn't make you strong." Ryan spat. "You sold your soul." Lucas shrugged. "I sold my silence, and they paid well." Emily's eyes welled with grief as she whispered, "You helped them erase us." Lucas glanced at her, smirk fading briefly. "Collateral damage." Ryan growled, chest heaving. "You're nothing but their pawn." Lucas leaned closer, voice dripping with venom. "No, I'm proof that survival requires sacrifice. You cling to hope. That's why you'll lose." Ryan's hand shook, torn between striking and holding onto fragile control. The silence stretched, thick as ash. Lucas's voice softened, almost mocking. "You could have been like me, Ryan. You still can." Ryan's eyes narrowed. "I'd rather die than rot in their chains." Sarah's grip tightened on his arm, her voice steady. "We can't bleed here, not yet." Emily stepped forward, trembling but firm. "Leave, Lucas, you've already taken enough." Lucas smirked, retreating toward the shadows. "This isn't over. Next time you won't walk away." His voice faded into the storm outside. Ryan exhaled, fury burning hotter than the rain. He whispered, "He's the ghost I'll never escape." Sarah's eyes darkened. "Then make him the reason you fight harder." Emily's hand brushed Ryan's, silent but steady. The library groaned as thunder rattled its broken windows. Ryan stared at the flash drive in his hand, whispering, "Every truth is a dagger." David stepped from the shadows, his voice grim. "That dagger has a handle soaked in my blood too." Ryan glared, suspicion flooding him. "You've known more than you've said." Sarah's tone sharpened. "What are you hiding?" David's gaze faltered, pain etched deep. "The man who betrayed Ryan wasn't just an officer, he was my partner." Silence dropped like stone. Emily gasped, clutching her chest. Ryan's jaw tightened. "Lucas," he muttered. David nodded, shame burning. "I trained him. I trusted him. And in trusting him, I doomed you both." Ryan's voice cracked, fury boiling. "You trained the man who destroyed me." David lowered his eyes. "I made mistakes that ripple into your exile." Sarah spat, "And we're paying for your ghosts." Emily stepped forward, her voice trembling. "Secrets don't heal, they chain us." Ryan's hand shook with rage, veins burning in his temples. "He was my brother in arms," Ryan growled, "and you built him into my executioner." David's voice trembled. "Lucas learned betrayal from me. He perfected it under them." The lantern flickered, throwing shadows across their strained faces. Ryan whispered, "Then the blood on his hands is yours too." The storm outside roared like judgment as Lucas's voice echoed from the doorway. "Blaming the old man won't save you, brother." Ryan spun, knife ready. Lucas stepped into the glow, smirking. "Every wound you carry, I carved with his lessons." Sarah hissed, "You followed the machine willingly." Lucas's laugh was cold. "Because unlike you, I saw survival in serving it." Emily's voice cracked, "You destroyed lives." Lucas's eyes hardened, "Survival requires sacrifice." David stepped forward, shame dripping in his tone. "Lucas, I raised you and you became my greatest failure." Lucas sneered. "No, you became irrelevant. I became inevitable." Ryan lunged, fury burning in his veins, but Lucas sidestepped, smirking. Still reckless. Sarah shouted, "Ryan, not here!" Emily's scream cut the tension. "Stop! You'll all die before the truth comes out." Lucas laughed cruelly. "Truth? The truth is he was marked for exile long before betrayal." Ryan froze, eyes narrowing. "What do you mean?" Lucas leaned forward. "They didn't exile you because of your mistakes. They exiled you because they feared you'd become me." David's face twisted in agony. They feared his strength, not his weakness. Ryan's chest heaved, realization burning deeper than wounds. Ryan's chest burned as the revelation pierced him deeper than steel. He whispered, "They feared me. Not for betrayal, but for becoming their weapon unleashed." Lucas grinned, eyes gleaming. "Exactly. You are their nightmare, Ryan, not their victim." Emily's tears fell, voice breaking. "That's why they erased you. They feared what you could do if free." Sarah's eyes hardened, whispering, "Then the fight isn't about revenge anymore. It's about truth." David bowed his head, whispering, "The sins of my past brought us here. But your choices will decide if their fear becomes their ruin. Ryan raised his eyes, rage and clarity igniting together. Then I'll show them what they should have feared all along. The storm howled over the ruined library as Ryan's chest rose with steady defiance. Lucas circled him like a predator, smirk sharp as steel. You've always been half of me, Lucas taunted, but never enough to win. Ryan's eyes narrowed, fury burning into resolve. I am not your shadow, he spat. I am the storm you feared. Sarah stepped forward, blade ready, her voice firm. He doesn't stand alone. Emily's hands trembled, but her voice broke steady. We all fight this together. David's eyes darkened, guilt etched deep. End this cycle, Ryan. End the monster I created. Lightning split the sky, thunder shaking the chamber as the confrontation ignited. Lucas lunged first, blade flashing in stormlight. Ryan blocked with raw force, sparks flying as steel met steel. Sarah dove to strike, but Lucas shoved her back with brutal ease. Emily screamed, Ryan! His jaw tightened, every muscle straining with fury. Lucas sneered, You're weak because you care. Ryan growled, pushing forward. Caring makes me stronger than you'll ever be. David's voice boomed from behind, Fight not for vengeance, but for truth. Lightning lit the chamber, shadows dancing violently. Ryan's chest burned, fury fusing with purpose. You betrayed everything we were, he roared, and tonight I bury the ghost of who I was. Blood streaked Ryan's cheek as Lucas shoved him to the ground. Lucas laughed cruelly. You bleed just like everyone else. Ryan's fist clenched around the flash drive, its metal biting into his palm. He rose slowly, voice steady. This is not just about me anymore. Emily whispered through tears. You carry all of us. Sarah stepped beside him, eyes blazing. We'll finish this together. Lucas snarled, 3 against 1, pathetic. David stepped forward, voice thunderous. No, Lucas, it's 1 against the truth. Ryan's body ached, but his spirit burned brighter. He roared, Your lies die here, and charged fury transformed into fire. Steel clashed again and again, echoes like thunder in the chamber. Ryan's strikes grew sharper, his rage tempered into precision. Lucas staggered, fury breaking his arrogance. Sarah slashed from the side, forcing him back. Emily hurled a broken shard, distracting him. David's voice cracked. Finish it, Ryan. End what I began. Lucas bared his teeth. You think killing me saves you? It makes you me. Ryan's blade pressed against his brother's throat, hesitation burning. Sarah whispered, Don't become him. Emily's voice trembled. Be the man they feared because of hope, not hate. Ryan's chest heaved, the storm echoing his choice. Ryan's blade trembled as silence pressed heavy. He whispered, I won't be you. With a final roar, he disarmed Lucas, sending the blade clattering. Lucas collapsed, defeated, his smirk fading into broken silence. Ryan stepped back, chest heaving, eyes blazing. Sarah exhaled, lowering her weapon. Emily wept softly, voice steady. You chose the harder path. David's shoulders sagged, relief and sorrow intertwined. The cycle ends here. Lightning cracked the sky as Ryan raised the flash drive, whispering, This truth will burn their empire. The storm eased, silence settling. For the first time, Ryan stood not as exile, but as defiance incarnate.